Hello and welcome. My name is Mark McCluskey, a retiree advocate and team manager with Prudential Retirement, and I'll be walking you through some important information regarding the discontinuation of the North Carolina 403B program. Today we're going to talk about a little background, how we got here, how we'll work together going forward, what does your current 403B offering look like today and what might it look like tomorrow, next steps and decisions that you'll be making, as well as the ongoing support that we'll be providing in a collaborative effort. After an in-depth analysis and recognizing extremely low participation by members, the North Carolina Supplemental Retirement Board of Trustees decided to discontinue the North Carolina 403B program, which had less than $33 million in assets and just over 1,400 participants as of December 31st, 2021. While the North Carolina 403B program offered competitive, low-cost investment options, adoption of and enrollment in the program lagged in the crowded 403B marketplace. Therefore, moving forward, the focus is on the larger, low-cost, and frankly more popular North Carolina 401k and 457 plans, which have almost 300,000 participants and combined assets of over $16 billion. All employers with the North Carolina supplemental plans participate in the North Carolina 401k, and many also offer the 457 plan. Key benefits of these plans include strong performing, competitively priced fund lineups, fiduciary oversight, personalized assistance for you and your employees, and of course, robust digital solutions. So we'll be working together during this transition. Discontinuing the North Carolina 403B program will require a collaborative effort between participating school systems and community colleges, the Department of State Treasurer, Prudential Retirement, and of course the participants in the plan. Your involvement includes making key decisions and taking action towards the future state of your retirement benefits offering. So let's take a look at what your 403B offering looks like today. We're actually going to start on the right side, and that is an example of what we would consider an exclusive arrangement, where the North Carolina program is the only 403B that's offered in your retirement menu. Or as represented on the left side in what we would call a non-exclusive arrangement, this is where there are other 403B options available to your employees. This is an important question to answer. Having a complete and accurate picture of what's currently available to your employers within your benefits menu is a critical first step. Now, if you're uncertain, I encourage you to take the time to work with those who have that information, such as possibly a payroll associate, your financial partners, and other HR counterparts. This is where the decision tree begins, based on which scenario is applicable to you. So it sounds easy enough, right? But let's dig into it a little deeper. Since the 403B program is being discontinued, what will your 403B offering look like tomorrow? And as you can see on the slide, there are two options. On the left is where you'll be no longer offering the North Carolina 403B program, of course, but you will continue to offer other 403Bs. Then on the right side, you'll no longer be offering the North Carolina 403B program or any other 403Bs. Now, as the plan sponsor, this is an important decision, and you'll probably spend some time making this determination considering what's best for your employees, and we greatly appreciate that this is not a one-size-fits-all scenario. So building on that, let's begin with a current day scenario in which the North Carolina 403B program is the only one that you offer and what this arrangement could look like. There's two different scenarios. Do you want to continue to offer a 403B plan in some capacity after the North Carolina plan discontinues? If the answer is yes, then you would have to select a new 403B investment provider. You would work with the North Carolina Department of State Treasurer and Prudential to get participant balances and ongoing deferrals and contributions transferred to that new plan. If the answer is no, then you would simply fill out the election form that we're going to go over in a little bit, that you will not be continuing with the 403B plan. And this would create a distributable event for your participants. Now, in this case, those participants could roll those assets into another plan, such as the North Carolina 401k, the North Carolina 457 plan, even an outside IRA, or maybe even take a cash distribution. We'll talk more about that when we get to the selection form. Now let's walk through a scenario in which the North Carolina 403B program is not the only 403B that you offer within your retirement benefits menu, and how this arrangement could work going forward. Again, there are two different scenarios. Do you want to continue to offer a 403B plan in some capacity with another carrier? And if that answer is yes, you would work with us to get participant balances and ongoing deferrals and contributions transferred from the North Carolina program into that other investment program that you're currently offering. You will select and provide Prudential with your default 403B investment provider. And this is in case some participants do not respond with where they want their assets to be transferred to, because it is ultimately up to them. Okay, we'll be working closely with them to help them with that decision. But if we don't hear back from them, we don't want to have it cause a distributable event just because they didn't respond. So we're going to go ahead and have a default provider set up to roll those assets in and possibly avoid any tax consequences or even an early withdrawal penalty. If the answer is no, and you want to use this opportunity to discontinue 403B plans entirely within your school system or community college, this will terminate all the existing options that you currently offer, not just the North Carolina plan. You wouldn't be able to start a new one within the next 12 months. And again, this would also create a distributable event, but those participants can roll those assets into a North Carolina 401k, North Carolina 457 plan, an IRA, or again, take a cash distribution. The employer selection form indicating your choice of how you want to move forward is due on May 31st. Important information on this form include your employer contact information, your information about your school system or community college, the selection of yes, you're going to continue with the program, or no, you're going to terminate 403Bs altogether, and then the signatures on the form. So let me just take a look at it and pull up an example of the form. Okay. The selection form is quite simple. It begins with your information, your employer name, your 403B subplan number. If you don't know that, your retirement education counselor will have that number for you. The contact person, telephone, and email of who we'd be best to speak with regarding the details of this transition. Section 1 is for those individuals who are going to continue with the 403B in some capacity. You would simply check yes. Under Section A, it's going to ask you which plan document do you use. If you currently just use the North Carolina 403B program plan document, you would click yes there, and just know that that plan document will be going away sometime around July when this plan, the assets start transferring out of the plan. If you currently work with a third-party administrator, and if you offer other 403Bs, there's a good chance that you do, you most likely have a plan document through them, and they would be best to help you with that. But again, your retirement education counselor with Prudential would be a great resource to help you with this as well. Section B is the default investment company that you select as a preferred provider in those instances, like I had mentioned earlier, where a participant does not respond to us by the termination date. We won't let them get hit with a transaction that's going to cause unfavorable tax consequences or early withdrawal penalties. So we would automatically transfer those assets to that preferred provider that you let us know who they are. And then Section 2, so that's all under Section 1. Section 2 is for those individuals who will be terminating the plans altogether. They will no longer be continuing with the 403B plan in any capacity once the discontinuance of the North Carolina plan happens. You would check no there. Again, it's going to ask you, do you use the North Carolina 403B plan document? If the North Carolina program is the only 403B program that you offer, the answer will most likely be yes there. And again, we'll know that information. But if you have a third-party administrator or maybe other 403Bs in your school system or community college, but you're using this as an opportunity to just kind of, to tighten them up and just focus on the 401k and 457 plan, you would check no there. And again, we'll work with you on the details of that. Name, title, date, and signature. Simple as that. The link to find this form was emailed to you within the past couple of weeks, but it's also available on the myncretirement.com website under the 403B section. Keep in mind, the due date for the selection form is May 31st. Very important. However, by returning the form as soon as possible, you may be able to make changes earlier in the year. And again, if you have any questions about the form, contact your retirement education counselor. Either way, make sure that you keep a copy of your completed form for your files. So let's talk about some key milestones and dates that are going to be impacting the decisions you'll be making. The election form, as I had mentioned, is due by May 31st. Again, you can get it back earlier. The date that assets in the plan will be frozen to new deferrals and new enrollments is June 30th. So as of June 30th, no more contributions will be accepted into the North Carolina program. And also the participants no longer have the option to enroll in it, your employees. Accounts balance transfers need to be done by September 30th. All the money needs to be removed from the North Carolina 403B program. The plan termination date must be no later than August 1st for those terminating their plans altogether. And again, the asset transfer date no later than September 30th, and the program will be completely discontinued by December 31st. So that was important. Let's take a look at it in a little different format. May 31st, election form due. June 30th, no more contributions, no more enrollments. July 1st through September 30th, assets will begin transferring out of the plan. And again, for employers that are terminating their plans altogether, must be done by August 1st. September 30th, assets must be removed completely before this date. And then December 31st, again, is the final discontinuance date, which will finalize everything with the North Carolina 403B. So ongoing support and resources, very important. You'll continue to get emails and have discussions with your retirement education counselor. Again, if you don't know who that person is, and I'm sure that you probably do, and I believe most all of you have been reached out to already by them, but it can be found at ncplans.retireapproved.com/counselors. And then there's also information on the employer's webpage at ncplans.retireapproved.com/employer. Very simple to find that information, even if you go to just myncretirement.com. One neat feature that we have here is frequently asked questions for both exclusive and non-exclusive. So depending on which bucket you fall in, and even if you're not sure, you take a look at both of them. So let's see for somebody that was exclusive, for example, if they just click on this link here, it will pull up exactly what you'll see when you go to that page. And a lot of the questions that you're probably asking yourself right now, if you look at your screen, you can see that they're probably there. What happens if I decide to discontinue my 403B plan? There's all the information right there. It even talks about defining the plan documents and how all that works. When do we need to decide our next steps? Well, May 31st. That's the first one. So we have some time. And again, we're going to work with you going forward through this. But I just wanted to show this as an example of the support that you have and the resources that are at your fingertips right now. So without further ado, I'm going to thank you for your time and attention today. We appreciate that there's going to be a partnership, and we're going to work closely with you throughout this entire process to try to make it as smooth as possible for you. Most importantly, we're going above and beyond to try to make this process as smooth as possible for your employees, those participants in the plan, because we understand that this could be unsettling for some folks, and we're going to just make sure that we walk them through and give them whatever attention they need throughout this entire process. So on behalf of my entire team at Prudential Retirement, as well as our team and partners at the Department of State Treasurer, I want to again thank you, and we look forward to working with you to make this transition go as well as possible. Thank you so much.